We had to prioritize culture over a lot of things. We went from saying who's really good at doing the job to, okay, I can train someone to do the job, but I can't train you to be a really good human being who cares about other people, wants to try and invest in other people, wants to not just show up to work for a paycheck, wants to be here and please a customer and do a good job and go the extra mile. And yeah, everybody's gonna have an off day. Everybody's gonna have a bad day. People are gonna wear on you over time. It happens.
Yeah.
But that's what the culture is there for, from the top down. It can't just be one person.
Hey everybody, it's Joshua Klein. We're back here today with Christian Judy, owner of Dukes Bar-B-Que, and a lot of other things that he'll tell you in a second. So Christian, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate you having me.
No, it's been a pleasure so far. So here we go. Tell the people who you are.
Yeah, well, my name's Christian. As Josh said, I'm the owner of Dukes Bar-B-Que here in Aiken. My wife and I also own a couple of other businesses. We own a sauce business that's starting up pretty shortly. We own a wedding venue that we went into business with some friends on, and my wife also is a local photographer, so she is busy doing that and raising 3 kids. So we recently had our 3rd, and so if you count businesses and kids together, we are massively outnumbered, the 2 of us.
Yeah. The great part is our kids are what, I think all about 4 months apart.
Yeah.
Each set of them.
Well, it's kind of weird. We did 2 months apart, 4 months apart, 6 months apart.
Yeah.
So
I'm done. He probably still has a couple more left. So
well,
anyway,
we'll see.
We'll go from there. So anyway, so thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
And being here. So question.
Yeah.
So Dukes Bar-B-Que, family business.
Yeah.
Tell people about Dukes Bar-B-Que as a background.
Yeah, so it's been in my family for, since the 70s. My dad got involved in the 90s when I was about 4 years old, so like 92 range. And he retired in 2015, and then I bought it from him and kept it going. And so it's been in my family for just a long time. All family recipes. They've started from the ground up. There's some crazy stories there. Just the time that my dad would go to work and then run the restaurant on the weekends, and then from there it became a full-time job and part of our family.
So tell us about early Christian. He did not think he was the owner of Dukes Bar-B-Que, did you?
No, I went to California to be a pastor, and then came back and realized, well, maybe this business thing isn't as bad as I thought it was, and gave it a shot and said, you know what, actually I think I'm cut out to do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep going with it. And then dropped out of school and went on to be a professional of owning businesses. So.
I like it. What's your favorite type of barbecue?
If I'm being honest, I like Tennessee barbecue. I love Memphis style barbecue. It's so good. Like the ribs, Rendezvous is actually my favorite of all. It's like a dark alley. You go down into the heart of Memphis, and oh man, some of the best ribs I've ever eaten in my life, and it's phenomenal.
So I recently heard this question: Is barbecue a noun or a verb?
Well, I mean, it's both, of course, but noun, if you want to eat it, barbecuing would probably be the verb version that a lot of people don't. I guess it depends on where you come from. So, like Texas, barbecue is so different than here. You know, it's cow, it's not pig based and pork based, and so everything here is pork based more or less. And so I would say it's probably more of a verb here than it is a noun.
You weren't prepared for that question. That wasn't on the sheet of questions I gave to you beforehand.
No.
All right, so what I'd love to dig into is your dad owns a business for 30-something, 40 years.
Yeah, well, I think he was in it was just in it from 92 to 2015, but then the rest of my family was in it for the 70s, so a long time. So
you get an opportunity to take it over from dad. And then and your business has grown like crazy. How has it done that? And not getting to like, oh, I've added this to the buffet or done this, but what have you done to your whole business?
Yeah, a lot of it, my dad set a phenomenal foundation for our business. I mean, he built it off of really coming along and minimizing costs and put just so much hard work into it. And I respect my dad so much for all the work he put into it, and my mom as well. They missed a lot of things when I was growing up so that they could build that foundation. But we went from there and kind of changed, brought it a little more modernized to allow just some systems to make things a lot faster. So we've massively overhauled our takeout business, massively overhauled our catering business. We've done a lot of culture building. So things that we had to do in the last 3 years really paid off through the COVID season.
So some people who don't know restaurant business, I grew up in a restaurant family business, don't understand culture in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think knowing you and knowing I know, you've done a great job setting that culture. So how have you done that, and what have you done to set your business apart from a lot of the other businesses, not only here locally, but across the South?
Yeah, culture is everything in a restaurant. It just is. I learned that watching, ironically, Clemson football. I hate to say that, but as a South Carolina fan, but it's honestly where I started to realize how important it was, because that entire program was built off of a culture.
Yeah.
And so we realized that our culture in our business was okay, but needed a lot of work right around 2017, 18 range. And we found ourselves just in a really rough spot where we were having a lot of turnover all of a sudden. It was like, man, why is this so difficult? It doesn't have to be this way. And there's still some turnover in our business, but we had to prioritize culture over a lot of things. We went from saying who's really good at doing the job to, okay, I can train someone to do the job, but I can't train you to be a really good human being who cares about other people, wants to try and invest in other people, wants to not just show up to work for a paycheck, wants to be here and please a customer and do a good job and go the extra mile. And yeah, everybody's gonna have an off day. Everybody's gonna have a bad day. People are going to wear on you over time. It happens. But that's what the culture is there for, from the top down. It can't just be one person. And then if someone's, kind of being toxic to that culture, we had to learn to be quick to fire, slow to hire. Whereas we were slow to hire, we were quick to hire, slow to fire. And that just is a recipe for bad culture.
Yeah. And I think culture, you had to have a lot of support too as well. So who are some of your biggest supports systems you have in place?
Well, obviously my wife. My wife is huge. My wife has been really the backbone for a lot of this, because she's put up with a lot of my stuff along the years, and owning businesses is not easy. You're out of the house a lot when other people might be home, or you're in the house a lot when other people might be out, and so my wife has put up with a lot. My parents, my dad and I talk every single day about, what are we doing in business? What are the long-term goals? What do he think will work? Because he's been in this business for so long. You can bounce plenty of ideas off of someone who's done something that long. And then my Derek has been a lot. He's my general manager. We really were friends first, and then he became my manager, and a lot of people frown upon that. But I learned and knew right away that I could trust him. And you can never buy trust. It's just something you can't buy. And then New Spring has been just a huge turning point for our business. Coming back and being part of a genuine group of believers, meeting guys like yourself, other really close friends, and just a phenomenal support system to give me great feedback, to help me be able to be very genuine at all times. And when you can be honest about who you are, it makes you give an honest representation to the rest of the world around you. So true, so important. All right, so not getting away from barbecue yet. Yeah. We're sitting in your restaurant, one of the best buffets in town, lines out the door, the whole 9 yards. What is something you look at every morning or every day when you walk in the business? What is the first thing that catches your eye? Honestly, I look at how clean is this place right now? What's everybody doing? That's the main thing, mostly because that's the one I hear from my mom the most. Is there was a recipe for success early on that my parents said, and there was really 3 things. You need to have always be friendly.
Yeah.
You need to have good customer service. You need to have a clean restaurant. You need to have consistent food, and that's what they boiled down the basics to.
Right.
And so I know my guys there have been there for a while, so the food's going to be consistent, as consistent as it can be.
Yeah.
Sadly, in COVID season, it's been, you get the products you get, and so you've had to adapt and learn and make small tweaks here and there as few as you can. But I know my people are going to be friendly because we've created that culture. We've invested in it. We put everything into that, just fostering that mentality. So then it comes down to, okay, are we doing the nitty gritty? Yeah. Are we doing the cleaning? Are we doing that? So that's kind of where my first go-to.
So true. What great advice. It's great advice for really any kind of business you own. All right, so you talked about owning other businesses as well.
Yeah.
We don't got to go into all the details of each one of them, but one of the things I love is you're partners with some of your best friends in all of them.
Yeah, we're not partners yet, so maybe we need to fix that.
We can do it right now. Let's figure one out. Let us know. Drop it in the comments. What should we open together? We'll do it. So
it's gonna be like a petting zoo, knowing us. We got enough kids. We could keep it alive just by ourselves.
My kids will literally hate that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your kids do. That's right.
So you got a sauce business. You got the wedding venue. Here's a question. Was it hard to go in business with your friends?
No.
Why?
Because those are the people that I trust the most.
Okay.
And not just that, we've built relationships that they know just about every part about my life.
Yeah.
And when people know everything about you and you know just about everything about them, you don't have to worry about, can I trust them? There's nobody other person more that you could trust. Then you just put it on paper as if you can't trust them. And that's what we've learned is protect each other. So if you love that person enough, protect them on paper so that if people change and people can do awful things, everybody's got it within them to be both great and to be terrible. And so that's just the understanding I have of humanity. And so I take that into every deal I do is you can be terrible or you can be great, and I'm going to put it on paper like you're terrible, and I'm going to go into business with you like you're great.
I love it. That's so great. So you talk about New Spring, but let's talk about Aiken as a whole.
Yeah.
Aiken has definitely supported the family, the business, the whole nine yards. What is it? Because, I mean, truthfully, you could take your business and take it anywhere in the country, really.
I would hope so.
But what about Aiken makes you make this your home?
Yeah, this is where I've grown up. I've been in Aiken. My family's been in Aiken since I was in the 5th grade, I believe.
Wow.
And so I don't want to do the math on how long ago that was, but it's been quite a long time. And this is where I've grown up. Yeah. This is what I've come to love. I lived in Los Angeles for a while, and that was different. California is very fast paced. There's aspects to love. But this was home. And so when I came back and moved back, I knew this is where I want to be. We're 2 hours from the mountains, 2 hours from the ocean, 2 hours from Atlanta, depending on who's driving. So that could be 3 hours in any direction as well. So
I'm a slow driver. I will get there in 3 hours.
Yeah. But Aiken's just, it's such a great small town. It's a great town to grow a family. You're never too far from anything, like I said, and the people are great. So
Aiken right now as a whole, we're growing, we're expanding. Where do you see Aiken in the next 2 years?
The next 2 years? I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say we don't have a completed mall. I'm just kidding.
Please, let's make it happen. I think it's happening.
It's moving now. It's moving now. No, but it's been that way since I was a kid. Like, we didn't use the mall.
So here's a great thing. So we do have a lot of people in Aiken who have always said, we've had these projects, we had these ideas, but they never move forward, right?
Yeah. I'm one of those.
Yeah, I mean, but how do we erase that mindset, or how do we get to a point, not in Aiken, but in general, of saying, all right, we have a vision. You have a vision with your buffet. You have a vision with the wedding venue. You have a vision with the sauce. How do you get to the point that you say, all right, we're going to move forward and make it happen now?
Yeah, I mean, we had that similar vision. We had a building that we were going to build. And COVID came 3 weeks before we were going to do that. And life throws you a monkey wrench. And you can never be prepared for those. You just can't. There's no way to be prepared for everything that's going to come your way. And so you make the next best decision. And so we've had a lot of uncertainty the last 5 years, just a lot of unknowns, and so I get it in a lot of senses. And I think we're finding, you go through seasons of life. That's what I'd really say, is you go through seasons of life, and Aiken is really in, since I've been here, the biggest growth season I've seen. Just so many people coming here, so many people investing in Aiken. There's different kinds of businesses, and you need a lot of infrastructure to build certain businesses. We get a lot of people that want a lot of entertainment businesses and a lot more things for kids, and those come, but in a series of events. They don't just happen overnight.
Yeah, you gotta support them.
Yeah, you got to support them, but we're in a really tough spot. We're almost a suburb of a bigger town.
Yeah.
And so Augusta's right down the road. Columbia's right down the road. They've got phenomenal entertainment things. You're not going to build another Topgolf in Aiken when you have one 35 minutes down the road. And so it's, what can we build? That's really where I think Aiken has tried to be something maybe that it wasn't. And we need to embrace what we are and then do it really well.
I like it. All right, so let's change a little subjects.
Yeah.
You have your 3 beautiful kids in front of you. Mm-hmm. What advice are you giving them?
Ooh, don't make mama mad. I'm just kidding. Advice. No, that's probably good advice for all kids. Yeah. But my biggest advice is follow the Lord first. Yeah. As you make Him a priority, what you should do in life really comes to the forefront. I know that was in my own life. That was definitely a reality. And then from there, I would tell them to, whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability. I don't care what it is. You have to work hard to succeed. Nobody rolled out of bed and was successful. They might have rolled out of bed and had a lot of money one day, but that didn't mean they were successful. That didn't mean they succeeded.
What's success to you? Success
to me is bringing joy to other people around me, is really what it comes down to. Whether that's in the food business of, you know what, you might have had a bad day, but let's get you something in that stomach of yours and make it a little better. If it's a wedding venue, it's making sure that the P's and Q's are done, so that way when you show up on your day, you're not stressed out. Yeah. You're really just going to enjoy yourself. We're there for you. So whatever it is in life that success looks like for many people, for us, it's just bringing joy to other people and watching them embrace life.
You've done a lot of giving back to the community, talking about helping people, the whole 9 yards. So recently we've done Client Cares. We're giving back a portion of the commissions to the community. What is one organization that you love giving back to?
Yeah, we've done a few things. We did, we like to find local families that are in need. That's one of the things that we have tried to do a lot. You can't give to everybody. That's what's tough. We get asked all the time. I mean, literally every day of my life, I have somebody else asking for money, and I get it. I understand. Never hurts to ask, I guess. Yeah. But at the same time, we like to find local families that really just can use an extra helping hand. We did a lot with Hudson Abbott a couple years ago, and that was kind of a thing that we did that was probably the most notable of size, and we were able to give a lot to their family and just watch a young man grow up. And in fact, we see him out here all the time on the course and playing golf, and it's just fun to watch something very localized. I agree with that. Just give. And then we do a lot with like Children's Hunger Fund. We do a lot with New Spring, with giving to our local church. But we kind of try and keep a lot of our donations more anonymous these days than we used to.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So here's the fun part of the segment. I'm going to ask you questions.
Perfect.
You're going to get one word to answer as best as you can.
Okay. One word.
Ready? Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Favorite season?
Fall.
Baseball, basketball?
Baseball.
Baseball, football?
Football.
I'm kind of shocked, actually. Golf or football?
Oh, football.
Okay, not so shocking. All right, socks. I see you have long socks, so one of my favorite questions to ask is, is that your favorite socks, long socks, or no-shows?
If I'm being honest, I'd rather wear no-shows because that means I'm doing something fun.
There you go. I like it. All right, Oh, we're both dropping our
Oh
phones.
man,
Here we go.
it's terrible.
So here we go. You're buying your wife one thing today. What are you buying, Rebecca?
Oh, I'm buying her a new car because she needs one.
Congratulations. Are you buying it today?
No, but I'm trying to. I'm trying to buy her a new car.
Time. You got time.
It's plenty of time. It's more supply than demand in this issue.
What are you buying yourself?
I don't know. I don't buy stuff for myself that often.
Everybody said the same thing, but you got to buy yourself something. What are you buying?
If I buy myself something, I'd probably buy myself like a lake house, something nice.
Skip the shoes, skip the shirts, lake house. So Rebecca, congratulations, you're getting the lake house in the car.
Sometimes they pay for themselves if you do it right.
That's very true. Airbnb, we love them. All right, favorite podcast right now?
This one's the controversial one, but I love Joe Rogan's podcast, man. It's so good. I just love hearing from tons of different points of view that I probably would never hear anywhere else, and disagreeing or agreeing with people that I have no commonality with, most of the time, but we can agree on a few different things. So
it's always neat to learn from people, right?
It is. It's great. I love learning, so.
That's great. Anything you want to tell the people?
Yeah, I mean, thanks mostly to you, and this guy's awesome, and he's absolutely phenomenal at not just as watching you in business, but as a friend, as someone that I look up to a lot, and what I do. We bounce ideas off each other all the time, and this guy right here is awesome. He's genuine, you don't find many people like that in life.
I did not expect that, so I appreciate that genuinely. So, but how can they find you? What's your hours of operation at Dukes?
Yeah.
Do you want to plug the wedding venue? Tell them to book your next wedding out there. And if you can sneak peek any information on the sauce.
Yeah. So we do have a name for the sauce. It's Whiskey Road.
It could be breaking news here.
Couldn't believe that we got that name, honestly. You can find, I've got more websites being developed right now than I care to, so I don't really have, I guess I do have URLs. It's whiskey.rd.com,
there you go.
But we're still developing the website. So if you go there, you're gonna see
to be coming.
To happen.
Yeah.
And then Dukes Bar-B-Que Aiken. That's our go-to for our restaurant. We've added online ordering and things like that recently that have. That is the way we're pushing our business drastically, because my vision for our restaurant is to become mass curbside. We went from trying to do a lot of drive-through and that sort of thing, but we realized pretty quickly that the ideal model for our business is going to be mass curbside, where people place it online and then just drive up and we bring it out to them. So,
what's your hours of operation?
Yeah, we're Wednesday through Sunday, 10:30 to 8:30, or excuse me, 10:30 to 8, and then on Sunday it's 11:30 to 8. So
10:30 in the week.
10:30, all throughout the week. So we do lunch and dinner.
I get me a barbecue sandwich for breakfast. I love that.
If I had my dad's, ambition, he wanted to do breakfast at one point in time, and I just said that is too early in the morning to worry about business for me.
My wife has wanted him to do a salad bar forever, so.
Hey, you keep tempting me.
Let's just do it. So, and how about the wedding venue? What should I do there?
Yeah, so I don't think we have a website there yet. So we're still in some development stuff with the name.
Just call you.
Yeah, you can call me if you really want to. But it's at the Vista. So the Vista is where it's located, and eventually that will have a name and a separate entity. So we're trying to separate those just a little bit, so that way things aren't too muddied the water, so that you don't feel like you have to be in the horse community to have a wedding there, but we encourage it. So we'll have more details as time goes on.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been super insightful, and we wish you all the best.
Thanks,
everybody.
Appreciate it, bud.